Hi, Jose. Good afternoon. How are you?
Hi, teacher. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. What about you?
Everything fine.
I'm
I
glad.
already wake up at this time.
Oh, yes. It's different not to have a class at this time.
Yes.
All right, Jose. So today we're starting the next model, the last one. Actually, it's the A14.
Hi, Jose. Good afternoon.
Oops, sorry,
How
one
are you?
second.
Oh, the recording.
All right, sorry, I couldn't find it. All right. So this will be the last model, and this model is going to be a little bit more based on speaking and listening. All right. And as you remember, we are going to have some activities, class activities, no? Usually one or two, depending. And sorry, we're going to have a weekly essay presentation. Is going to be based on your speaking abilities, activities. All right. So basically, you are going to record a little, it's not message, it's not a presentation, but just a speaking exercise on a docs. I'm going to show you that tomorrow, because tomorrow you're gonna get the first one. So remember, for the previous model, we have 8 classes in model, right? In every couple of classes, we have a different unit, right? 1 unit, 2 units, 3 units, 4 units. And every couple of classes, you should do these certain exercises on my English lab. But obviously here, we're gonna have like a little audio message, audio text, audio presentation you're going to send each couple of classes. All right. So it's going to be something very simple. Don't really get worried about. It's going to be something quite simple where you have to listen to something and then you have to talk based on that. No? So we're going to practice listening and then speaking. All right. So I'm going to show you this in detail tomorrow. But it's the same as the previous exercise. No, the only difference is that you won't write anymore, so you will speak. All right. So the same amount of score it's per each activity or exercises. For example, in class activities, I grade that in 30%. This weekly, it's not weekly because for us it's different. No, each couple of classes essay or speaking essay is 30%, and the final oral presentation will be 40%. No, it's been like that the whole model. No. All right. So tomorrow I'm also going to explain a little bit. So you can record a message and then you can get a link and you can send that link. I'll explain this tomorrow in detail with the exercise. But yeah, basically in this model, we will practice listening and speaking.
Perfect. This
All
is
right.
the last model.
Exactly. It's the last model.
How many days we have?
Left? 8 days left.
Eight.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So for the next Wednesday.
Yes. Yes. Next Wednesday we will finish. Sorry. And yeah, I mean, if you would like to have maybe more time, or maybe there is a day where you can have the class, just let me know. I already mentioned this to my coordinator, so she knows that we will have the classes at this time, no, the whole week. And yes, that would be it.
No, I am right now very organized. I think I won't fail in class at this time.
All right. No, for sure, no. All right, but just I know you're a busy person, so if at some point you don't have time, well, just let me know, please.
Excellent, teacher. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, Jose. All right, so we're going to start with some tips, I guess, so you can try to improve with your listening skills. No, while we listen, usually maybe we are in a conversation, we're in an interaction with someone, so it's always important to make eye contact. No, and that way the other person knows that you are paying attention to them, right? Like you're concentrated, and that, I mean, you're following the interaction, the conversation. No, that's very important while you're speaking with someone. Also try to understand, obviously this English is our second language, but we have to try to visualize what the speaker is saying. For example, if they're talking about their house, and maybe you know how their house looks like. No, you imagine that maybe they're talking about a car, or maybe they're talking about a specific restaurant, or you know what I mean? We have to try to visualize. This is something we do automatically in our mother language. While we speak Spanish, we do this automatically. No, we visualize things while we are speaking with someone. Well, we have to try to learn to do that in English too. No, whatever we're talking about, try to imagine about that. Sorry. Next one, it's something maybe cultural, that sometimes when people is talking, maybe we can start to make some judgments, but we should always try to don't do that, especially because if eventually you go overseas, or you go to live to another country, an English speaking English country, you will meet a lot of people that come from different cultures, right? They have different backgrounds, and it's important that any situation we have to try to keep an open mind, because that we can see that on the face of the speaker, right? If they are talking about something related with, I don't know, this new community of people that don't have really a gender, you know, this community, this LGTB community, no? For instance, it's just an example. I don't know if you can hear me. I got the internet connection.
Yeah, I hear you very clear.
All right, great. So yes, I was mentioned just an example. Now, for example, if someone start talking about, I don't know, the gay community, or maybe Black community, or Asians, or whatever, no, we should try to keep our mind open, not related with whatever they're talking. We should always try to be respectful. No, don't be just judgmental. Another thing that is important, it's always try to listen, no, and don't interrupt the other person. And here we can always have some phrases we can say, no, for instance, oh, sorry, I didn't get that. No, for example, if you didn't understand what they were saying, no, I don't know, or maybe you can say, oh, excuse me, you were talking, so I interrupt you. Okay. Please go ahead. No, so just try to be polite while we're speaking, because sometimes we can interrupt, no, and it can be sound a little bit rude, no. So yes, it's important not to pay attention and then answer when it's your time to talk.
Excellent.
Let me see. Oh, okay.
Allows to ask questions.
So when we're talking, now sometimes maybe whatever we said, maybe it's not clear. We can ask, no, maybe if you're giving an instruction to do whatever, or maybe they're asking for directions. No, you can wait a moment, and they might go with a question. No, oh, because you can see that in their face. No, when someone don't understand you, you can see that. No, they will like, they will make a face. So it's kind of easy to see. No, they didn't understand you. And even if they don't ask anything, you can say, oh, okay, so is it clear? Or you need me to explain this one more time? No, it's important to always make sure that the interaction is going well, no? From both sides. This, what I was already mentioning, no? Ask clarifying questions. So if something is not clear, so if maybe you heard a word you don't understand, you can say simply, oh, I'm sorry, I don't know what it means, this word. Or what do you mean? What do you mean by in the word? No? What do you mean by? Because you're not sure about the word, right? Maybe you think you heard something, but they meant something else. No? Sometimes that happens when you're talking and maybe they say something and you don't understand and you're like, oh, okay, no, it's not clear. So you can ask these questions. All right. So that's very important because you remember in English, a lot of words have the same or a very similar pronunciation, but the word may be completely different, right? So that's important to ask clarifying questions. Any questions so far, Jose?
No, teacher, everything really clear.
All right. So another tip to improve your listening skills is try to emphasize with the speaker. So, for example, if it's someone that is talking to you and is very excited, no, is very happy about something, they're going to show that, not that they're happy. And maybe they're gonna talk about one thing and they're gonna mix it with another thing, no? So we just try to be happy for them, right? While they're explaining something, and then you try to well, just ask some questions or maybe congratulate them, right? But for example, if we have the same situation but on the other side, and maybe the person it seems worried or maybe they seem stressed, is the same, right? If they're talking to you to try to emphasize and maybe they seem that they're not doing well, you can stop and then you can ask them, no, are you feeling okay? You sound a little bit worried. Do you need anything? Or can I help you with something? Do you need to pause or, you know, these kind of things. But just try to understanding where is the other person coming from. No, because these feelings, these emotions can totally change whatever you're trying to do in this situation. No, if you're working with someone and your partner seems to be very, very angry, you can't work with that person, right? You have to try to help them maybe calm down and try, and then you can work. No,
Yeah.
so it's like that in any situation, right? Maybe you're in a restaurant and maybe the person seems to be a little bit I don't know, mad, maybe it's rude. Then you can just let them know, well, I think maybe in a bad day, I understand that, but you're being rude. No, maybe someone else can help us. No, maybe we can talk with another person. No, so it's just trying to have a good situation from any type of situation. No? This is also important, not to pay attention to non-verbal cues. This is related with what we say without words, right? So for example, if someone is like crossing their hands like that, no, it might seem like maybe they're angry, no, or maybe someone doesn't make eye contact with you. Maybe they are angry or maybe they're sad. No, we have to pay attention to these cues, just to try to have a good interaction with that person. No, we're talking about any situation. We can have an interaction with someone. You could be in interview, a job interview. You can be maybe in a classroom activity. Maybe you are in a restaurant. I don't know, in any situation you are and you have to interact with someone. These are things that we should pay attention to, that in Spanish, in day-to-day situations are automatic, but we don't necessarily do this when we're speaking a second language. No, so it's just trying to is that we're trying to do what we do in Spanish in situations where we are comfortable with our language, but take them to these other situations where you are speaking a second language. No? All right. So any questions, Jose, so far?
No, teacher, everything clear.
All right. So we're almost finishing. So feedback, no? Feedback. This is important. When we are having an interaction, a conversation about something, maybe they're explaining something to us, we're explaining something to them, no? This feedback basically is saying, okay, great, no, everything is great, we can start working on this, or maybe I can do this, or you can do that, no? It's just basically saying, okay, we are good to go. We can continue doing this, no? It's saying everything is okay, or maybe if something is not okay, we should try to also mention that, no? If you're not comfortable with something, no, you can say that. Obviously, all of these all these tips should be done in a very polite way, no? If you're not comfortable with something, you can say it in a totally polite way. That's just your ability to communicate, right? So yes. And obviously, when we want to create these situations where we are speaking, and obviously, because this is for an interaction, where we listen, but we don't just listen, we also answer. So remember I mentioned this before, we should try to practice, no? With movies, maybe podcasts, I don't know, lectures, TED Talks. No, we should always try to practice our listening, because the better we understand what someone else is saying, the better we're going to answer, right? That's just the key of a good conversation or interaction. Do you have any problems listening to me right now?
No, teacher, I listen you so well.
All right. So sorry, I keep saying that because I get the internet notification that my internet is supposed to not have a good connection.
Do you hear me?
I can hear you well now. Yes. All right.
Good teacher.
All right, great. So so those will be the first part of these speaking tips. So I would like to practice this first speaking exercise with you. It's going to be a very random speaking exercise. But I would like to talk to you about, let me see, a topic that for you is interesting. What will it say? What will it be? Sorry.
I don't know. Maybe sports or customs.
All right. Sports sounds like a good.
Maybe sport is a good topic.
Yes. Okay. Let's start with this. We're just going to talk about sports for 5 minutes, and let's try to create an interaction. All right. Okay. So Jose, well, let me ask you a couple of questions about this, and let's have this interaction. All right. All right. So what sports do you play, Jose, at the moment? in your city?
Well, at the moment, I swimming teacher. I am swimming, but
Nice.
I used to play football a lot.
All right.
But right now I am swimming and going to the gym too.
Sounds fun. So you are practicing soccer then, right?
Yeah.
All right. And how often do you practice soccer?
I used to play soccer 3 times a week in the past, but right now, really when we make a team, when we could make a team, because it's really difficult to meet with all of my friends that play football or play soccer.
Yeah. And now how often do you play?
What time? What time for about 2 months?
Oh, all right. And what about swimming? Do you how often do you swim?
I swim at least 1 time a week. Some months I stop to swim because I don't have time.
Mhm.
But when I organize my schedule, I could swim 3 times a week.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah.
And usually how long do you swim?
For an hour. For an hour. I
For an
swim for
hour.
an hour. Usually I swim on Saturday morning really early, 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. on Saturday.
That sounds fun. And where do you swim?
I swim in academy of swimming. Its name is Aquafit.
Oh, nice.
It's located in Equipetrol. And I think they are really good teachers, because all the hour I am supervised by a person, by a teacher.
Oh, sounds really fun.
Yeah,
And
and difficult because I have someone that is I don't know how to say, when you want to say that someone, I don't know, uh, is push you to get better.
oh, so your trainer pushes you a lot.
Yeah, it's difficult sometimes.
Yeah, I can imagine. And what about the gym? How often do you go? Mhm.
For the gym, I go often because more often because I don't have um, a schedule or meet with the teacher. I go alone. When I have time, I go. Um, the um, I go to the gym at night every
Mhm.
day. I try to go every day, but the same. When I have a lot of work, sometimes I just can do something on weekend. But there's no week that I didn't do something.
Oh, all right. So you try to like you try to be very active.
Yeah, I try because it's important to me.
All right, sounds good. And if you could rate the three activities you just mentioned, which one will be your number one, your number two, and your number three? You mentioned soccer, swimming and the working out, no?
What
Gym,
what
for
kind
example.
of order? What
Uh-huh.
for
Rate,
which one I do more or
something like that. No, rate is to say, okay, this is my number one, the most important one. This another activity is my number two. This one is my number three. So which one would you say it's the most important of the three activities?
I don't know if the most important, but is what I practice more. Going to the gym.
Oh, all right, great. Okay.
The second one, swim.
All
Swimming.
right.
The second
And
one
last,
is swimming because I could practice. And the last one is soccer because I depend of the another person.
oh yes, your friends, right?
Yes, I depend of the another one.
All right, great. So see, no, when we have an interaction with someone, when we have a conversation with someone, we're always listening to what the other person says, right? So for example, you were talking and I was trying to pay attention to all the things you were saying, no? And try to make other questions so you could continue talk about that, no? And I just continue making some questions and make some comments, no? To create a conversation, because it's not the same just say, oh, what sports do you like to practice? And that's all, no? We have to try to create more questions, more interaction, right? While we're talking, but paying attention of what the other person is saying. If we don't pay attention to what the other person is saying, we won't know what to ask or what to say or what comment to make, right? So that's very important. Now, another important question is to always try to ask questions for the other person, no? So for example, if I ask you, oh, what sports do you like to play? And you mention and you're talking about it, at some point you should try to you ask the question back to the other person. And you can go with, oh, what about you? What about you? Or, and you? Or do you also practice these sports, blah, blah, blah. No. So it's important to try to relate on this interaction, no? But it's important, it's very, very important to pay attention to what the other person is saying. All right. So
All right.
okay, Jose. So
just 1 second, teacher, please.
yes, sure, no problem.
Hola. ¿Qué tal, Ronald? ¿Cómo anda? Ya, te va a atender. Sorry, teacher.
No problem, Jose. All right. So that will be a little exercise, no? To try to see, no, how do we pay attention, not to this listening or to this speaking. Sorry. So let's continue checking some other tips. All right. All right. So there are other situations where we can also speak. No, we listen, but we also speak, right? Listen is important, an interaction, but in some situations we also have to speak in public situations. For example, you have to give maybe instructions of a big group of people, maybe you have to make a presentation in front of this I don't know, your coworkers, or maybe you have to talk with these people while you're trying to make a better job. No, we not all the time, but we will always be in situations where we have to speak in front of a big group of people, and these are tips for that. All right. When we prepare or we get ready to speak, imagine a presentation, it's normal to feel nervous, right? Because
Yeah.
you're going to say something, probably something, no, that you were getting ready for that. So as we did in college or school, we get ready, no, practicing to speak, no, because it's normal that sometimes we're speaking and then we forget everything, right? So this is one tip for that. No? Now, for example, imagine you are giving maybe, I don't know, a toast, or maybe you just have to talk maybe in front of your family members or your friends. No? So for example, you have to congratulate your sister because she just graduated, right? It's an exciting moment, but you have to talk in front of these people. So it's not the same talk with kids that talking with your sister and your family, right? So you have to know who you're talking to and try to choose maybe your words. No, you're not going to choose difficult, too long, or formal words, right? You're gonna use just regular words, right? So it's important to know who we're talking to. And obviously, if the situation changes and you're gonna talk maybe with in front of your boss, obviously even your posture, right? Even your clothes, everything changes to talk in these different situations. Another important tip for public speaking is to have a little material, to don't forget what you want to say. No, again, it's not the same to congratulate your sister in front of your whole family than mentioning this important topic to your boss, right? So you should try to get ready, maybe get some notes and try to write some words that you need to remember, or some topics you need to mention, no, in this imaginary presentation. All right. In a way that you say what you're doing there, right? You want to congratulate your sister, that's the most important thing. You can't forget that, right? Or if you want to mention, you have to mention these 4 topics to your boss. No, don't forget to mention each of them. And we are going to practice this in a moment, but we should always try to organize this, because in that moment when we have to speak for a public audience, we forget. No, so try to keep in mind you have the topic clear, why you're saying this for, maybe some ideas, some important ideas or details you have to mention in that. No, so for example, and let's try to practice this. Can you try to explain right now what is your job about, and try to describe a little bit of what do you do, and maybe a little bit of the background if you want to. No?
Okay.
Yes, so in your words, try to describe your job, because I am a little bit familiarized with it, but I would like to try to understand a little bit more. What do you do? So,
Okay.
so you can, to get ready for this, no, you can open a docs if you want to, or you can write on the chat if you want to, and try to describe at least 3 to 5 things you would like to mention about it. No, and just try to describe your job the best way you can.
Okay.
All right, so
Yeah.
maybe you can have a 3 minutes. 3 minutes to get ready. What do you think?
3 minutes?
Yes, 3 to 5 minutes to get ready.
Okay.
To organize your ideas and try to describe your in maybe 30 seconds or 1 minute tops. All right.
All right, teacher. I have to write this in the chat box.
Yes, it's just an activity to.
And after I have to speak.
Yes. So you don't have. Sorry. Continue, please.
Sorry. I have to speak directly, or I have to write first.
The notes are just for you to don't forget some details that maybe are important to mention about your job, but you don't have to write the whole sentence. No, you can just write some things, maybe maybe the name of your job or the title of your job. I don't know. No, maybe just some details you need to remember. That's all. You don't have to write, oh, I work in this company for this time, or you don't have to read the whole thing. Maybe just some words that let you remember some things you would like to mention. That's all.
Yeah, okay.
All right, so it's 2:40 until 2:45. Is that okay? 5 minutes. If you finish before, we can start.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you to you. Eh, can I read?
Yes, yes, please.
I read it?
All right.
I am 35 years old. I am the owner of a custom agent. His name is Argos. It's a company that is the auxiliary of customs. We provide a service for companies and for the plurinational state of Bolivia. So we are really regulated. For example, we can be an importer, we can be an importer or transport company or a transportation company. Our business is to make the companies do the things according to the national and international laws. But in the other hand, we have to do a good service for they for they are our clients.
All right. Very good. Very interesting. So do you import and export things?
We do the declaration of the import declaration and the export declaration, but it's not only this, because we have to give a service until the charge come to Bolivia, because we have a lot of kind of product that need certification, documents, permissions. I don't know. It's really complicated. You just go. You just can send something to Bolivia before without an assistant of us, because inclusive you have to do a declaration until the charge cross the frontier.
Oh, for example, but if you want to get a car from another country, there is a declaration you have to do before that.
Yeah, yeah. In all of kind of product, you have to do a declaration. Not in the air importer. When the charge come by air, you don't need to do a declaration before, but you have risk, because when you advise to a custom agent, we can give you a feedback about your regulation in Bolivia, but when you send your charge by air, you don't know after the charge arrive to Bolivia. So when the charge is here, if it needs a regulation or a certification, we can do anything at this moment, you know. So it's really important to have a good communication with us until the charge is sending.
Very interesting.
In the case of cars, you cannot do an importation. The cars that is 1 year old, more than 1 year old. So if you send a car of made in 19, I don't know, 19, I don't know, in
99.
99 or 2000, maybe it can be, it's not going to get out of customs.
Oh, so this importation, this car importation is just for cars like from this year?
Yes, on the last of the or the last years.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that. So you
Yeah,
can't really get old cars in
yeah.
in country.
Also, you can do importation of cars that are using diesel. So if
Oh, really?
you made an importation or you send a car that is working with diesel, uh, you are gonna lose this car because
Wow.
you you won't you couldn't get out of custom.
Wow. Oh, so it's very risky, no? If you don't know these kind of things.
Yeah, and you have this problem with a lot of kind of product, inclusive with clothes. You if you want to be a clothes importation,
Mhm,
you need you need an previous authorization.
mhm.
Uh, yeah, if you have something, if you are gonna make an exportation from the comunidad andina, the
Uh-huh.
Andina community,
Yeah.
uh, you don't need this authorization. So always you have a little word in everything. You need to be assisted by us until you seem to do an importation to Bolivia.
Yeah, yeah, definitely because a lot of these things that people is importing are quite expensive, no? And they think that you can just get it. I don't know. They you can sell it, send it by other countries, and you can just get it here.
Yeah, and you need to calculate your taxes too.
Yeah,
So we help you to calculate this, and you are gonna see what is your project about.
yeah.
Uh, but in the other hand, we have to make you. I don't know how to make you do the right things. So uh, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
We are like customs,
yeah,
but we are private.
yeah.
But we are customs. We are custom, but we are not a public company. We are a private company.
Oh, yeah. So you guys help people to don't um maybe ruin a shipping
Yeah, we
product.
help people, but also we made to. I am not finding the the word exactly.
Mhm.
Eh, Cumplir la ley. We made
Oh,
to. I don't know how to
follow.
say to
Follow?
follow the law. Yeah,
Oh yeah, definitely. Because obviously just well costumes, Alana, they don't care, right? Because if you get something and you have to pay high taxes, they don't care, right? But your company helps you to prevent maybe making a mistake, no? That's what
yeah,
you
exactly. Yeah, but you have to. We are not a company optional. If you want to ship or send something to Bolivia, you need to cross for our company.
Mhm.
Well, you can choose the custom agent that you like, but it's a company that you 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 can say I don't need a custom agent because you need a custom agent.
Okay, okay. Yeah, definitely. Those things they were definitely something I never even considered. No, because I think just regular people get things. For example, last time I got some charges for my phone with a friend, and she just got it for me, from the US. and that was all. But usually people think that like that, no? Obviously it was by plane, but it's not like a big ship, no? But when you have a lot of things to get from maybe China, I don't know, or any other country, there are a lot of laws we have to know before making that or deciding to do that, no?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very
Well,
interesting.
it's usually that people like you or like me also, by seeing in the United States, when someone is coming to Bolivia,
Mm.
it, uh, get travel with our SIM to Bolivia and don't pay taxes
Yeah.
for this, because it's like like their sins, no? Like their personal sins.
Exactly.
Eventually, custom stop. Maybe when it says something is irregular, or I don't know, when it's something really expensive, maybe for iPhone in your bag,
Yeah.
maybe the customer will stop this and make you pay for that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you eventually are gonna need a custom agent to pay your taxes.
Yeah, for sure. Wow, very interesting. Very interesting. And how many years have you worked in your company, Jose? I think you mentioned this, but sorry, I don't remember.
My company is new. I have three years. I created in 2019, just until to that we get the pandemic.
Oh,
Uh,
before the pandemic.
before just a couple of months. So our company is a pandemic company. It's a survivor. We are a survivor.
Yeah, that's true. Because many companies they close, so they stop working on that. No.
Yeah,
A
but
while after.
we start to work.
That's great.
Uh, yeah, but I am about 15 years of experience in international commerce. I have a master in
Oh,
financial, and a lot of studies about this topic, teacher, about commerce, uh, customs, business administration.
oh. So
Yeah.
you definitely know a lot of your job right now. No, definitely you're an expert.
Yeah, but never we stop to learn, teacher. Like
Oh,
you see, like could you see?
yeah, yeah, that's true, right? I'm sure, yeah, that you and your company obviously must be learning something new, no? And maybe even every day, no? Well, or
Yeah,
learning always.
and the laws is always changing.
Oh, yeah, I imagine.
Yes, for all kind of situation, political change, the laws change. Maybe they want to protect some product, or the international law change, or inclusive the sanitary of the world change,
Yeah,
um, for obviously situation like the
pandemic.
COVID-19. Yeah.
That's correct. And would you say, is it easier or maybe more difficult to ship things from outside of the country than like now or before the pandemic? Do you think when was easier to ship things to
I don't
Bolivia?
know if the word is easy, because it's really easy in the most scenario. Maybe today is easier than before, because we have a lot of kind of improving in systems.
All right.
So we can work today from our house, or from anywhere. But you have another situation that is but it's not about customs, it's about logistic, because we have a crisis of container in the whole world. You know, we don't have containers for same product, so the the cost of container is so expensive today, because we don't have container,
Yeah.
because the commerce was stopped during the pandemic.
Wow. Yeah, definitely some you wouldn't imagine if you don't know about all these things that happen inside of this.
Yes, it's because the container, when it moving around the world, it was sending, for example, from China to Europe, or for Asia to Europe. So Europe stopped to do something, because they was with the COVID 19, and they stopped its production, their production. So this container that was sent to this country, or the they keep in there. So if they don't do exportation, we never could rescate. So it's turned to the expensive price of container in China.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah,
I
definitely.
I don't know if you understand me.
Yeah, yeah, I think a little bit. But yes, I mean definitely the pandemic, create some strange situation for the containers, and obviously it everything stopped. No, it wasn't a good situation for anyone, but
Yeah, the
well,
machine stopped.
yeah. So it's definitely very interesting, all the things that you have to know and work on, no, if you want to get things from outside of the country. So thank you very much, Jose, for sharing. It was very interesting. And yeah, I mean, we're gonna continue practicing speaking. And tomorrow I'll explain a little bit more these small exercises. We're going to start to work on it, and I'm going to explain how we're going to do it. But so far you did a very good job. Thank you very much for today's class. And let me run today's polls. Any questions so far, Jose, related with this topic?
No, teacher, everything clear. Thank you so much for your patience with me.
No, don't even mention that. All right, so you've got the polls. Please let me know if you can see it or no. All right.
Okay, I did it.
Thank you very much, Jose. Have a great afternoon. I'll see you tomorrow at the same time.
Hey, teacher, you're welcome. Thank you so much. See
You're
you
welcome.
tomorrow.
Bye, Jose. Have a great
Bye
day.
bye.
Bye.
¿Aló? Hola, pibe, ¿cómo andas? ¿Qué tal? Bien, bien, todo bien. Y vamos. Un poquito, no puedo, ¿verdad? Sí, sí, pero puedo. Ajá.